Hi, my name is Terri Sproul, and I want to welcome you to my studio. Tonight is Tuesday night, and this is a live show, so if you're watching it on YouTube at a later date, remember to watch me live. This is a live show on Google Hangout every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Did I do that backwards? Hopefully not. Did I get that totally backwards? Oh, well. So tonight we're going to play with...
It's happening now. That's all you need to tell them.
Now, you should be watching it now. So I am going to be playing with gelatos tonight, and we're going to continue playing it in the art journal. Remember, all of these techniques can be transferred into your scrapbook pages, into your card making, onto canvases. These techniques can be used on a canvas, so you can make beautiful art. Okay, I do have Joe here helping me tonight. Say hi, Joe.
Hello.
So if you do have a question, if you can do your best to put it in bold, or not bold, I always say that, in caps over on the...
Have you been drinking again?
No, I haven't been drinking. Maybe that's my problem, if I should be drinking.
You are always better half lit. I mean, that's what we talk about in private on Facebook.
Exactly. So, you know, if I just get that way, it'd be all better. So, anyways, put your questions in...
You got totally discombobulated now.
You screwed me all up in caps for me, and we'll do our best to get them. Okay, I'm going to switch cameras so we can get going before I screw something up even more here. Okay. Hold on. We switch cameras. Hey, why don't I let you take a quick second, Joe, and tell them about your podcast today that was very good that I got a chance to watch. Put you on camera, so talk away.
Cool. Well, many of you may know Julie Fei-Fan Balzer from Balzer Designs. She has a great line of stencils through the Crafters Workshop. She teaches online. She teaches all over the world. She has a podcast called Adventures in Arting, and she interviews artists and folks in the industry. It's just fascinating to me. She does a great job. The podcast is available off of her blog, and you can also download it for free from iTunes. It's audio only, no video. And yesterday, Julie interviewed me. It actually was the second time, because the first time we did it, it didn't record right. It's Julie, her mom, who is always the co-host. They spent an hour with me. We talked about, well, the topic was a rooster in the hen house. So what's it like to be a man in the crafting world, which is primarily women? So we talked about that. We talked about teaching. We talked about classes. I'd love for you to take a moment and listen to the podcast. I think you'd enjoy it. You can find links to it on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/createandcraft, CREATE, the letter N like Nancy, craft, CRAFT.com, so facebook.com/createandcraft. I think Terry might have shared it on her page. I shared it on my personal page. But I'd love if you'd like our page, Create and Craft, on Facebook, and check out that link. Check out Julie's podcast. You can download an app on your phone so that you can be notified when podcasts come out. And I've enjoyed all of Julie's podcasts. She did one with the owner of the Crafters Workshop. She talked about where she gets her stencil ideas from, what it's like owning a business like that. She's interviewed Natalie Kalbach, who's one of my favorite artists, just moved here to New Jersey from Germany. So a whole bunch of folks she's interviewed. It's great listening, and I hope you download the latest one free from iTunes or through her website. You can click play, listen to it right on her website, on her blog post, and the link is on facebook.com/createandcraft. Terry, you were fascinated by it, weren't you?
Yes, I did watch it this morning over coffee. It was fun. So, yeah, it was a good show, and I actually even got my name dropped in it, so I was happy.
Yeah, so you had it over some coffee, and how was
I had it over some coffee, exactly.
Coffee.
Okay, we are still on the laptop. I apologize. So I still have the camera set up this way, but I can't zoom in and zoom out. But we're going to do our best. Hopefully, crossing all my fingers, I'm getting my computer back this week sometime. I'm hoping. So next week we should be good. Okay, I want to play with gelatos tonight to make our background. Gelatos are a lot of fun. They come in tons of colors. I'm going to pull all these forward and see all these colors they come in. And they actually have, I don't even have them all, they have one more set that I have not picked up yet that's actually a steampunk set. And I just keep forgetting to even look for it in Michael's to pick it up, so that's the reason I don't own it. But they have lots of colors, and they come in 2 different sizes. This is called the regular gelatos, and these are the new ones they call double scoops, yes. So they're twice as much product. Lots of things you can do with them. I am going to show you one tonight, but there's lots of techniques that you can do. I picked out a little fun palette of colors that I want to play with tonight, and I have black off to the side because I plan on using that later on tonight too. Okay. Keeps looking sideways on the camera for me. Okay, now gelatos you can use in a couple ways. You can just put them directly. Now I did pre-gesso my page. If you do not own gelatos, you can do the exact same technique that I'm going to show you tonight with acrylic paint. So the only thing that you will do different, and I'll show you that in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting some gelatos directly onto this background. And I'm just going in. They look like lipsticks if you haven't seen them before. They remind me of chapstick. They are, these are water-based colors. So they will activate with water. And I'm going to explain that tonight too. Lots of people here. Welcome, Terri Sue, and oh, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see them all your names. But I just seen Terri Sue's name pop up. So welcome. So what I'm doing is I'm just scribbling on some gelatos in the background here, and I'm using multiple different colors. And the same thing that you would think of when you think of acrylic paints. You don't want to put colors that are going to muddy next to each other, just like acrylic paints. I think I need, no, let me put this on. Oh, I already used that color, but that's okay. Come in with just a little darker over there, but I'm going to come in with some yellow to give me some pops. Now, I just told you that these work, these are water-based colors. So I could spray water on these and start mixing them and have a watercolor look. But I actually don't want to do that. I actually want to just come in with my finger and start blending them. And you literally just start moving that, I don't want to call it paint because it's not paint, pigment around. And I usually do try to keep my colors kind of without blending them too much. So I will clean up a finger and start a new color with the orange here, and maybe with the yellow I'll get that third finger in there. But I will eventually blend them together and they become one. Now, if you're doing this technique that I'm going to show you with acrylic paint, you don't want to cover the whole page like I'm doing here for the technique I'm going to teach you. And I'm going to explain that again a little better here as we go along. You'll understand. But right now I am just blending my colors out. I'm getting them all put together. And as you see how it's blending and becoming really pretty? And if it's a little too hard for you, you can come in and do a real soft spray of water. I did a really soft mist, and it kind of loosens them up, because this is very much like, it's almost like chapstick. It has that feeling of waxiness, for lack of a better word, like chapstick would have. So if you are, because you do have to put some oomph into here, so if you do think it's too much, just come in with a little water and it'll move that pigment a lot easier for you. But you don't have to. So just play with it and see what works for you. Okay. I got my background basically blended out as much as I want to for right now, because I'm going to work a little bit more on this. Now the next thing I want to do is grab some stencils. These are stencils from Sin City Stamps, and that is sincitystamps.com. And I've talked to you guys about this in the past. When you are working with stencils, you want to work with patterns that are similar. So I got a circle there, hearts, those are very similar. What else do I got in here? This crackle could come in there because it's kind of similar also. I probably wouldn't put necessarily like squares in there. So these 3 stencils will do me for right now. Now the next thing I want to do is grab baby wipes. And you want clean baby wipes, and you will probably use a lot of baby wipes. Okay, now if you're doing this technique with acrylic paint, you make sure you have gesso down, you put some acrylic paint on. While it's still wet, you put your stencil down, take your baby wipe, and come in and start removing the paint. Here, we're removing the gelatos, but I didn't have to worry about it drying. So with acrylic paint, you would make sure that you did not allow your paint to completely dry. So I'm going to come in, always move your baby wipe to a clean spot. And I'm not getting the whole image, meaning I'm not going to the edge of my stencil. I'm just getting parts of it. Hope you can see that. See there in the corner how it's taking the gelatos up? Oh, is it acting up? I was actually having a little bit of problems earlier, so I hope it doesn't give us any more problems. So here's the heart. Again, making sure I have a clean spot when I move. Take a little more off. Come in with the circles. Oh, I love that. And if if your baby wipe gets dirty, get a new one. I get my baby wipes, by the way, at the 99-cent store. So if you got a 99-cent store or a Dollar Tree next to you, go get your stencils there. I mean your baby wipes. Sorry about that. Brain fart. So all these stencils I get over at Sin City Stamps. But any stencil will work. Okay, one more spot here and I'm done. Okay, so look how cool our background is. Isn't that awesome? I know, isn't that just really cool? So this basically pulled it off. And I could go back in on the opposite. I could start laying the stencils down and add gelatos into them. But it's not really the look I'm looking for tonight. I just kind of wanted a nice soft background. Okay, let me get this out of my way. The next thing I wanted to play with, make sure we're going the right way, is I love this stamp. Check this stamp out. Is this gorgeous or what? This is one of those Stupendous stamps, the jumbo ones. And it comes with this stamp, and it comes with this feather also. And all of their stamps also come with a stencil or a mask. This is going to be really hard to see, but trust me that that is a stencil and a mask of the stamps that I received. So that's kind of cool. I like that concept. So I made, today, I stamped this, just so you didn't have to watch me color in, on deli paper. We've talked a lot about deli paper, and I've had a lot of questions about deli paper. Where do you get it? What is it? I actually go to Smart and Final. I'm not sure if you guys have a Smart and Final where you live, but there probably is other places that have deli paper, and it actually says, see that? Deli wrap. See it? And this box right here has 500 sheets of deli paper. And you pull them out like that. They're about that big. These are great to stamp on because you can, when you lay it down, you'll notice that it doesn't, because it's see-through, you still keep your background, so it's kind of nice. These are wonderful for jelly plates. Remember we used the jelly plate a couple weeks ago? These are great to print on. So I
And you
stamp,
can wrap your sandwich.
and you can wrap your sandwich if you actually have a kitchen.
If you have a kitchen.
Well, so many of us crafters don't have kitchens.
Oh my God.
We don't want to eat, we want to craft. So anyways, I took the image, I stamped it on the deli paper with a permanent ink. You could either use StazOn. I like Indian ink from Stuart Superior. Archival ink from Ranger would work, anything that's permanent. Then, just so that you wouldn't be bored, I did color it in. And I used Tim Holtz distress markers and colored the image in. I was a little nervous, though, after I did it, because distress markers can reactivate with water. And I was a little worried about when I glue it down if it would reactivate. So I did, and I'm not positive, but I did spray it with a workable fixative. You can get this at Office Depot, and I went outside, I sprayed it so that I know at this point that I can go over it with anything and it's not going to give me problems. So I want to glue this down right about here, and I am going to use gel medium. You could use a glue stick. I'm just a big gel medium fan. It dries completely clear.
Terry, there is a question as to whether or not the background technique will work with oil pastels.
I would say no, unless I don't work with a lot of oil pastels, to be honest. Okay, but my instincts is saying no, unless you, as an oil pastel person, know of a product that's out there that will lift the oil pastels off. And that would, if you know of a product that does that, it would work. But acrylic paints, it works. Make sure you have the gesso down, though, because if you don't have the gesso, it doesn't have a resist. The gesso actually acts as a resist in that technique. If you put acrylic paint directly down onto your canvas and or your art journal page, it will absorb into the paper or the canvas, and you will not get a the lift of the paint. I hope everybody understands that. Hope I answered your question. I also had a question earlier, since I'm just getting this down, about my group and the prizes. My group is called All Things Terri Sproul, and it is on Facebook, so please join there. And you can enter to win a prize on this show, and the way that you get entered is you put your art journal, scrapbook page, whatever you make that is inspired by what I do, on my group page. If you go back and watch 10 shows and you put all 10 shows on in 1 week, you get 10 entries that week. If you only put one, you could get one. All of the entries are deleted in my brain, not on the page, at the end of the week, or on Tuesday, like tonight, and the new one is picked. I hope everybody understands that. Okay, I got a beautiful stamp from Versus, and it's Versus Rubber Stamps, and I'm going to use that quote. I am going to put this towards me just so I get my quote straight. And I will read you the quote here in a second. The art journal I am using while we are talking is called Cottonwood Art, and you can get it over at Dick Blick's. I absolutely love this art journal. It does not bleed through. It's just an awesome journal. It has only a few pages. That's probably my only complaint, is it doesn't have a lot of pages. Even though that page is a little curled, when I put something on this other side, it will uncurl and I don't have as many problems. So I like this journal because it doesn't bleed. Okay, it says a bird doesn't sing because it hears an answer, it sings because it has a song. I love that quote. I thought that was really cool. Okay. Also, with this stamp set from Stampendous comes this peacock feather, and I've got to use that. So you can use your gelatos as a stamp pad also. So I can actually take gelatos and start coloring directly on my stamp. So I'm going to come in with a couple colors here and color it in. So I'm just using the gelatos directly to the image. Now they kind of have to be water activated, so I'm just going to squirt just a little bit of water there, and I'm going to tap really lightly because I want them to be water activated, but I don't want them to get real blurry on me. And I'm going to stamp that image. Now it's going to come out really soft. Let's see that? And I kind of like that softness anyways. So again, I'm going to come in and do a couple more. And some of the colors also in the gelatos, some of them are metallics and some of them are not. So it really depends on what you're looking for. I'm actually using that blue is a metallic color. So again, another stamp there. Again, it's really, really light. And I apologize, I'm a little off camera here. Let me see if I can rearrange this. Got to get a paper towel so I can clean that spot off. Sorry, I don't get ink all over my book there. Okay, so I am going to push this to the side and do my gelatos over here so you can see it a little better. Okay, so back to the stamp. Again, just stamping, inking it up. Push my blue off here. There it is. So again, tiny mist of water. So I'm just taking this pattern, this image across my page, just to give it a little more excitement. Keep the theme going. So that's the second way you can use gelatos. So actually I've taught you 3 ways to use gelatos tonight. Remember, you can rub them directly on, you could put them on and then spray it with water and move the watercolor around, and you can do this resist technique, or reverse resist actually. Kind of reverse. So I do have a winner tonight. While I'm finishing.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Winner, chicken dinner. And she's going to laugh when she hears me say this. But it is Robin, and I can't say Robin's last name. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Robin one time with her husband. And the joke was that it's Robin Smith with an H. So Robin Smith with an H, she knows who she is. You are my winner. So contact me on Facebook and give me your address and I'll send you something in the mail.
And Jack, tell her what she's won.
You know, honestly, I don't know. I have to go pick it out. Shame on you, Joe.
Now that was the perfect game show line, right? And
yeah, and I
tell her what she's won. And
I wasn't ready for it. Okay, another way to use gelatos. You can take gelatos. This is a Teflon sheet right here. Let me move this paint. This is Teflon sheet sitting right here. Clean up that paint mess right there. And I'm going to take gelatos, and I'm going to take white, and I'm going to get it onto the sheet there. I just rubbed it on the sheet. I'm going to add some water. Now it's going to act like paint. I'm going to grab my toilet paper roll and tap it in there and go around and make some circles, which are way too light, so I'm going to change and make it black. This is what I like about art journaling. If I don't like what I did, change. So I'm going to do the same thing with black. Spray it with water, get it activated, come in with my toilet paper roll, get some paint on it basically. Why am I having so much trouble getting color down? There's a good one. Nope, off screen, sorry about that. So I'm just going around and getting some of these little circles in my, there we go. Now we're starting to get where I like it. And this gives a really cool pattern going in the background too. So again, if you don't have gelatos, you can do that same technique with acrylic paint. So keep your toilet paper rolls. And I know everybody has those at home, and if you don't, I don't want to know about it. Okay, another thing I could do with that gelatos that's wet right there, usually I get it really wet. You can take a fan brush. This is a fan brush. Okay, and I pick up those gelatos with that fan brush, and they make the best sprinkles. You just tap on the brush, and it'll lay down some good little dots for you. And it kind of does it without getting too crazy. So I really like the way it gives me a little bit of sparkles there. See those? Perfect. See that? That's what I'm after. Okay, let me clean this off here. Get this out of the way. And the other thing that's really cool is the gelatos are going to clean up really quick. I can clean the stamp off with just, you know, a baby wipe. And that stamp's going to be all clean again. Okay. Now, where are we? Oh, we're doing great on time. Okay, now, I also want to take the gelatos at this point, and I want to go around the edge. What should I do that in? I think I'm going to pull the purple because the purple will really intense it. Now this is a designer technique. A lot of designers use this. Tim Holtz is famous for using this technique. He does it, of course, with his distress inks, but he always goes around the edges with a dark color. And the reason that you do that is because it takes the viewer's eye and it draws your eye to the center. So if
who is he again?
Who's that? I don't know, that Tim guy.
We don't care about that.
No, we don't. That Timmy guy. But, you know, he's famous for doing this, so that's why I always point it out. And he never tells you why he does it. See, I'm telling you why to do it, why to do this. As a designer, why you want to do this technique. So it really does. See the difference between this page and this page? How it draws your eye in. I'm going to try to give it a little closer view. See it there? Now look at this page. That's still a good page, but see the difference? And when I complete the whole page, see how this page, this side is drawing your eye in? Or this page doesn't seem to, it looks like it's missing something almost. So if you're ever looking at your page and you're going, it's missing something and you don't know what it is, it might be something as simple as this technique of just framing your page. That's what I'm going to call it, framing your page. And again, this is going to blend with all the gelatos that I've already used. And you can do the same thing with acrylic paints or with inks. I could have easily got out Tim's or anybody else's inks and did the exact same thing. But I wanted to show you lots of techniques using the gelatos tonight. So you could use an ink pad is what I'm saying. I'm pretty happy with that page. Let me see. You turn it towards me, see if it needs something else. Also, I want you to see how the deli paper, you can barely tell that it's there. How it blended into the background. Stays on gets sticky when you stamp it. My stays on gets all sticky when stamped. Really? I've never had stays on do that. Get sticky. You could try.
Ours does too, Terry. I think that's kind of common sometimes with the stays on.
Yeah.
It's that solvent-based ink, I think, that has that tendency now and then. For us, I've had it.
Yeah. I wonder how to solve it, though. Have you ever figured out how to solve it? Like maybe using a fixative over it?
To me, it never bothered me. Oh, I meant it was sticky like when we use it on the pad, but it always dries well on the paper.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. But I want to show you this stuff. If you are having your pages get sticky, like when you hear that one? When I opened it, it was sticky. That usually means that you have a shiny paint that you use. Shiny paints have a tendency of not ever fully drying, so they keep a stickiness to them. What you would want to do is wax your page. There's a lot of waxes that are out there, and it's almost the same as shoe polish wax. You probably could use shoe polish wax, but if you want to get one that's, you know, an art grade, Doyle's wax medium is the one I use. This jar will last you a long time. I've had it probably over a year. It's a 4-ounce jar, and you'll see that I've used very little of it, and I almost do every page with it. So I've used maybe a quarter of it. See that? Maybe a quarter of the jar, and I use it on, I would say, 90% of my pages. But what you would do, and I'm going to clean my hands, what I do is when I'm done with a page, which I'm happy with this one, so I'm going to keep it, you take the wax, put it on your fingers, and I just buff it right into the page. You literally just rub it in like it's a buffing material. Now I just discovered my head's coming off here. Not that head. Be good, Joe. So I'm going to real quickly glue that down.
Am I ever not good?
You really want me to answer that one? This is why I try to go over my my image, just in case I didn't get it glued down. So I real quickly went in and glued the head down. Must have glued head down. Okay.
Now, do you know what? Do peacocks have a song, or do they quack, or what do peacocks? Do you have any clue what peacocks do?
I don't know if they make a sound. I'm sure they do. Wouldn't you think? I mean, what bird doesn't make a sound? I don't know. But hey, my peacock makes sounds. So anyways, I wouldn't do it over that because that's not dry. I'm going to go down here and show you. So I take it and I rub it right into the color. And then I usually will take a soft cloth when I'm completely done and just buff off any of the excess. And that's how I would do my pages so that they do not stick together. So I
just went to YouTube, Terry. They make a funny sound. They kind of scream.
Oh, do they really? Well,
I'm not going to try to impersonate it for you here. I did consider it, but...
Okay. There we go. So I'm pretty happy with that page. I love the peacock. Isn't she pretty? He pretty?
Oh, Dana knew that they scream. She said also they sound like a baby crying, Terry Sue said, but Dana wants to know if you wax it, when you hit the adjoining page with a heat gun, are you going to melt it?
No. No. It's not that kind of wax that you're kind of thinking about, like a beeswax. A beeswax would, you know, remelt. You're right. But this is not that kind of wax. Think more like shoe polish wax.
And Marianne wanted to know if it's the same as bikini wax. Could she use that?
Probably not, because that's, again, more like beeswax. And this is not. This, again, is more like shoe polish wax.
She now wonders, could she use beeswax instead of bikini wax? Could you give us a little talk about that, Terry?
You were being really bad, and I know you're lying.
I'm reading the comments. I'm reading the comments right
And
there.
by the way, I can read those comments too, Mr. Joseph.
Oh, hell.
You are bad. Okay, if anybody... Oh, did I... Yeah, I gave the prize out. So you got me all flustered again. Let me change back cameras if I can get my mouse to cooperate.
I'm very impressed with how many people in the chat room know what a peacock sounds like. Barbara says they scream, they don't sing. Kathy says they're loud. Terry says they sound like screaming children. Karen says they scream. Do these people, I wonder if they live near peacocks? Have they had a pet peacock? Were they perhaps chased by a peacock as a child?
Maybe. Peacocks are wild in San Diego.
I think they're wildly cool anywhere, but
they are, but no, they're actually...
You don't have peacocks walking around San Diego.
No, honestly, we do. We do. I know it's hard to believe, but if you go to Balboa Park, they are...
That's the zoo. You've been at the San Diego Zoo.
No, sweetie, no. Trust me. There are peacocks walking around Balboa Park, and actually, I've seen them wild on our mountain also.
Dana says peacocks are boy birds and peahens are the girls without the feathers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then they must have pea kids.
They must? How cool is that?
They're all little pissers as far as I can tell.
See, look how much we learned tonight.
I'm having a great time.
Journal class.
It's like Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I bet everyone's too young to remember that but me.
Oh, no, I remember that.
Well, you're old as me.
That's true. But very happy.
It's beautiful.
Isn't it pretty? I like the way that one turned out. So hopefully, if you guys have not checked out Gelatos, they come in packs at the at Michael's, or you can buy the whole caboodle off the website, or even Michael's. I don't think I've seen the whole set at Michael's. I could be wrong.
Karen says peacocks are wild in Florida.
See?
I thought they just had flamingos.
No, peacocks are wild. Where do you think they came from? But yes, they're native to San Diego.
Vicky said that Dorland's is a cold wax and contains solvent, so that would explain why it doesn't matter. Oh, Miss Miko said they're pea brats.
Oh, I like that one. I gotta remember that. See, look at how much we learned tonight. I'm impressed.
I'm educated on a daily basis.
That's the whole joy of life. You should always be educated on a daily basis.
Let's make a list of all the things we should do on a daily basis. Terry, you go first.
You know, if this wasn't being recorded, I'd go for it, but we need to get off this.
I think I'm joking.
You're such a brat. He's got to turn his mic off because he's laughing so hard.
I did.
Okay, everybody, I want to thank you for joining me. Give me a thumbs up, please, on YouTube. Join my group on All Things Terri Sproul, and thank you very much for joining me. If I missed your question, please find me on Facebook, and I will answer your question. Have a great night, and good night, Joseph. Thank you, everybody. Bye.